So hello. Today I'm going to talk about the full moon in Aries that's coming up, depending on where you are in the world, on either the 9th or the 10th of October. For those of us who are in Australia, together on the 10th of October. That's 7:54 a.m. if we're in Sydney on the eastern states, and in Perth hours behind. So for us it will be 10:54 a.m. Perth time. So this is why when people talk about this, they'll actually say it's on the 9th, but it can also be on the 10th depending on where you are in the world, obviously. So this is a full moon. So when full moons happen, this is basically a time when things really come together. It's a time of review and reflection as well. And when it comes together in the sign of Aries, things can be very emotional. Emotions can run very high. Aries tends to be, it's a fire sign. It's very passionate, can be a bit hot-headed. It's got very focused energy. It can be the warrior as well as the leader. So it can be very exciting in that sense. But it could also be a time when we need to really watch our words and be careful about how we're reacting and what we're reacting to, because we could be feeling quite emotional and fairly reactive as well. Maybe get a bit upset about things that sometimes it can be a time when the full moon start to come out and be released. And sometimes if it's emotions that we've been sitting on and bottling, this may not actually be a bad thing. This could be a really, really positive thing. It might actually, be released. You can actually process something and really deal with what you need to do as well. So that's really important. But I guess it's really important to also be aware that this can be a time. It's unlike a new moon when we're planting seeds. This is time when we're sort of reaping some of the rewards. So there might have been some projects that we started, with fire and determination, with passion, that are now coming to the fore, which is a really exciting time as well. So, getting together, looking at, listening to our intuition, planning our next steps would be really important. And also, showing up and sometimes showing courage, because we're able to now stand up for ourselves and move forward. But we need to perhaps be a little bit more reflective in the way we do that. So we do that in a way that's very, very useful. So at this full moon, we have Saturn and Uranus. They're actually squaring each other, which means that there's a tension between them. And this has been happening for quite some time. So this is about the clash between the old and the new. Saturn is the old, the traditional, the government, the centralization, and Uranus is basically Uranus shakes things up. It upends things. It likes to it awakens things, and that it does something sometimes in a way that's quite powerful. And Uranus will stay. Saturn will move off next year, and probably March he'll move into Pisces. But Uranus is going to sit in Taurus until 2026, and it's at the moment it's forming that square to the North Node, and so there could be changes with that North Node in Taurus around agriculture, financial markets, things that we value as well. And so this is, about currencies, and also it's forming obviously an aspect to, whilst it's conjunct the North Node, it's actually opposing the South Node. So this is a time when there could be secrets coming out, things that are being unearthed, where we're going deeply into things that we've not known about, and things that weren't always for our best and highest good are coming to the fore. So things are really, those secret things that we're not sure of are really, really coming out, and there could also be some toxic stuff as well. This is really, really important for us to be aware that with Uranus, that maverick, that revolutionary, that wants to basically give us independence, we need to be careful we don't clash with the old order as well, and the old structures, even within ourselves. It's really important. We know that in October, Mercury goes direct, so there's going to be a better time for communication, ideas, etc., which is really powerful. Pluto is, of course, going direct. I've just done a thing on that as well on the 8th, and Saturn then moves direct on the 23rd. And so this is really important because Saturn will then start to really move forward on some of its ideas as well. And this can be very, very powerful. But Pluto in Capricorn is at 26 degrees. So if you have planets or angles at between 25 and 27 degrees of the cardinal signs, that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, it could be a time that things are going to be feeling a bit intense for you, and you can actually feel some shaking up as well, that really that asks you to look more deeply into what's going on as well. So we also have that solar eclipse on the 25th. And then we have a total lunar eclipse on the 8th of November. So these are bringing in really big changes. Things are going to get a bit messy maybe before they get better. So with this full moon in Aries, Aries is the warrior sign. It's about courage, bravery, pioneering, and it's about the new earth. And you're showing up at this point to be a part of a pioneer and someone who's going to move forward and be a part of that new world, that new earth, that new sense of community as well. It's also about resilience. So Aries is very resilient. So we're standing up in our strength and in our power. Now this moon here in Aries is also conjunct. It's right next door to Chiron. Chiron is sitting right next door to it. So Chiron is basically the planet. Here's Chiron. It's at 14 of Aries. And so Chiron is very much shining a light on things that we need to heal, because Chiron's the healer and the healed. So this is important. So we're looking at our health and our healing. So maybe there's some things that are coming to the fore where we're basically areas where we may need to basically do some healing, or things are coming to fruition in terms of our health, which is actually really, really important. And Chiron in Aries also asks you to get rid of the false ego and look at anything that's not authentically yourself, because it's about having the courage to be really, really who you are and what you're going to be. And with this Chiron in Aries, maybe you're going to see things in a different way. You might look more deeply into things that you want to, or things that looking at what you need emotionally as well, that will help you in this particular process. It could make you feel, because it's Chiron and there's a healing that's going on, it could make you feel a bit sensitive, and Chiron or emotionally triggers you, but that could actually be a really positive thing as well, because it allows you to then bring those things to the fore and address those things. And Chiron's not about the mainstream. So there could be an alternative path, some new ways of looking at things. And we're looking at how to be more independent and more courageous, and really understanding who we are at the core of ourselves. Now, whenever we have a full moon, basically when the full moon is in Aries, it means that the sun is always here, is in opposition in the sign of Libra, its opposite sign. And it's also conjunct Venus here. So this is the energy of support, relationships, and feminine energy as well, that could be coming to the fore, letting you know what's going on as well. Libra energy is air sign energy, and it's not only about relationships, but it wants you to step back and look at things from a different perspective and be more balanced, because Libra is very, very balanced. And Venus could bring in people, and those people that could actually really help us in that sense, who could be really important in terms of helping us develop balance, look at things in a new way, or bring things into perspective for ourselves. Now, Mars is still in Gemini until March. So Mars is energizing the mind. So this could be really good if you're a writer or you're doing something that requires mental energy. So there's lots of information coming in for you. Mars has actually been making a trine to Saturn in Aquarius. So that Saturn in Aquarius is bringing in stability, clarity, the ability to commit to something. So this could be really positive, because you could have ideas, and Saturn brings in that sense of direction that helps you put those ideas into some sort of format, some sort of process, and helps you commit to what you need to be doing next and get you going. Mars is also in a square to Mercury, and again, this is around the mind and the mental energy. So there could be a desire with Mercury and Virgo to shift, to discern, to know what's true and what's not true. And because it's in Virgo, that Mercury, it's a time to cross our I's and dot our T's, because it's a time to really and truly look much more clearly into what we need to do and look more deeply into the details of everything else as well. And so Mercury is direct at this point. It's been direct from the 2nd, and so it's making a trine to Pluto, and Pluto has been deeply renovating and deeply evolving and helping you step into more of your power. So at this time of the Aries full moon, we have Pluto making a trine to this Mercury and Virgo, which can help the projects, tasks that we need to focus on in terms of our mental energy, and also help us put in place next steps, and look at how we can solve things as well. Pluto here will also help us understand the big picture and what needs to be involved in that, and the communications could be really, really much flowing much more easily as well. Mercury there's going to be a grand air trine as well. Mercury will move into Libra in October. Saturn is in Aquarius, and Mars is in Gemini. So there's lots and lots of conversation, lots of ideas throwing. This is a time and there's a lot of mental energy around the place as well. So it's saying, let's get things sorted, let's get things sorted out, let's get those ideas into some sort of form or action. Maybe we've got lots of projects and things that we're wanting to come together with, and because it's a trine and that's a very positive energy, things could just flow a lot more easily. So if you've got some brilliant ideas or projects and things, and so the energy here is very much, you know, talk about it, say it, express it, write it, discuss it, plan it, get the energy moving, because there'll be progress. And Saturn will help make that progress happen, because Saturn will bring in that stability, that commitment, and it will give you the staying power to get the things done as well. So this is really, really important in terms of looking at things. Also a time when maybe there could be solutions that come to the fore, you know, that you hadn't thought about before, which could be a really positive thing as well, because there is so much air energy floating around. And so maybe there's something that shows up for you, some new ideas, some new ways of thinking about things that you hadn't thought about as well. So Jupiter is here. Jupiter is at 1 of Aries down here. Now, one of the cardinal signs, that's Jupiter, cardinal signs obviously being Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra, often is a time when there's what we call the world axis. So there's major things going on here as well. And so this is a time when Jupiter's asking you to expand. And so this could be a time, you know, given that it's opposing Mercury up here in Virgo, when basically it could be a time when you have big dreams, big plans, big philosophy, big visions coming to forward, and whatever information is coming in, it's likely to be important because Jupiter on the world axis, it brings it into a bigger form. So it's starting to build on a bigger level. So there could be something really important that you're working on, and Jupiter's helping you really expand and bring together, you know, that really can be moved on a much bigger level. This is also the signature of the writer. So really good time if you're writing and putting things into ideas, you know, putting ideas into form. So very exciting time for this. So Mercury on the world. So there's also so information will be really important, and things will be coming out. Maybe there are things that will be important to get out on a bigger level as well. So one of the things that's really important is that basically this could, because there is so much air energy in this month, there could be a time when you need to really focus and do a bit more meditation and really come together with that. Otherwise you could get lost in all of these brilliant ideas and not be able to bring them into form, which is really, really important. And one of the big power things going on at this particular time, and this is going on between October and November as well, with all those eclipse seasons coming as true, is that, you know, you need to be really careful that sometimes, you know, you need to be aware that there will be things coming to surface and into the light, and not everything is true. So being really, really just discerning, not leaping into things, looking at things objectively, not being calm and staying, you know, unemotional is going to be really, really key at this particular point in time, so that you don't fall into that, I suppose, that emotional excitement and enthusiasm that sometimes Aries can bring. So again, a very, very powerful time as well for us all. We also have Eris down here, which is forming an aspect to the moon in Aries as well. And Eris is a street fighter. She's basically one who fights for everyone's rights. She wants everyone to be included. So don't be surprised if there's a lot more energy around inclusion, including ideas. And there could be issues within yourself as well, because even though this can happen on a world stage, it can also happen within yourself, where maybe you're looking at how can you bring and include different aspects of yourself, different ideas and different energies within yourself, to really focus and really step into that powerful, dynamic leader, and, you know, change agent and warrior that you actually are. And this could be a very exciting time. So I hope that helps you and that brings you some positive messages. So wishing you all the best and have a great day. Bye for now.